Okay, hello everyone. So I decided to do a little Stranger Things fan art. It was very hyped up for quite a while. I feel like the hype is starting to die down right now. I actually haven't finished watching all the episodes. My dad comes over to visit like once a week and he enjoys sci-fi as much as I do, so we'll normally watch like some sci-fi shows together, and we've always watched Stranger Things together, so I've been waiting for him for each episode, and we can only really get through like 1.5 episodes when he comes over, so right now we are on the final episode, but only like a half hour in. So yeah, I don't know. I did notice that a lot of people do not like this season, and honestly, I don't really see why. I mean, to each their own, but in my personal opinion, I really like where the story is heading. I think it's a really, really interesting season. But like I said, I haven't seen the ending yet, so maybe I'll hate it once it's over. But as of right now, I've been really enjoying this season. Probably my favorite season out of all of them, if I'm being completely honest. So I have fallen completely victim to the Vecna thirst traps, as many ladies have, and men. He's a beautiful man, and I love a villain, so I decided I wanted to draw him. He is one of my favorite characters, although Marie is probably my favorite, and I'm actually pretty bummed that he really didn't get much screen time this season. He's just so funny. Favorite character, hands down. But Vecna, amazing, especially this season in my opinion. And I think Jamie Bauer in general is just really great. And yeah, so let's talk about charcoal. Charcoal is something I've always loved to use, primarily back in like 2015. I did a lot of charcoal portraits. I've sold a few, my favorite being a portrait of Anthony Bourdain. Also, sorry if I sound out of breath. I just ate a bunch of chili. And for some reason, I feel like exhausted after eating it. But anyway, I really enjoy charcoal. I think it's a lot of fun. It feels like playing with dirt, to be honest. And yeah, it's just, it looks like it gives off a vibe like nothing else. I swear, it's so good. So yeah, I'm just gonna talk about just some stuff. We're gonna talk about portraits in general, and yeah. So I always start upside down, which is something I've always done. I am almost completely self-taught, but I did do a tattoo apprenticeship when I was younger, like in my early 20s. And that tattooer, like my mentor, was a hyper-realism tattooer. So he ended up having me just draw portraits like every day, every single day. And I got some instruction with them, but for the most part, I was just practicing them every day. And like one of the main things he taught me was to just turn my reference upside down, draw it upside down. That way my brain is just registering like the shapes that I'm seeing, and not so much looking at like a nose and being like, oh, that's a nose. I know what a nose is, and my brain just kind of like filling in the gaps. Whereas if it's upside down, you kind of see it more as like a shape, if that makes sense. So you're looking objectively, you know what I mean? So a lot of the time I'll go upside down. I just do like a really, really loose sketch. Just try to like block in some of the features, like the main features, like the eyes, the bottom of the nose, and the lips. And usually with charcoal, like as you can see, I just do a very, very faint line of like the middle and then across for where the eyes will go. And then I do very light smudges for the features just to map everything out in a way that's not gonna like hinder me later on. So very, very light. And I do like to start off with the background a little bit, just darkening up the background just so I can get like the face shape correct. Sorry, I'm clearing my throat so much. I don't speak a whole lot. I live alone, and now I work from home, so yeah, I'm out of practice. But anyway, yeah, Jamie Bauer, his features are really, really interesting, and I think that's why I wanted to draw him so badly. Very, very, like, sharp, defined features. Gorgeous, gorgeous man. Incredibly gorgeous. Like, his features are very strong, and this reference that I'm using was from, I believe, the first season? Maybe not. I can't quite remember, honestly. This has been going on for so long. Like, so many seasons for so many years. But it's when he's in that white suit at the old lab and it's like splattered with blood and he like tilts his head a bit. And that tilt, it really was kind of tough because it just makes his face shape so strange, very angular. So it was really tough. And I never get it right on the first try. I feel like when I was starting to do art, I'd look at finished portraits and be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did that. Like, I don't understand how they did that. And I don't think many people get it done on the first try. I mean, sometimes. I feel like there are some portraits that are much easier than others, but a lot of the time I'll be working and just editing the whole way through and like redoing things and just kind of sculpting it until it finally like looks like the person I'm drawing. But it's, I feel like a lot of people give up because they expect it to be perfect right away, and it's just not the case. Like, definitely keep going until it starts to look the way you want it to, and just don't give up. Don't give up. At least keep trying until it's pretty close and you're satisfied. Because you can always just keep seeing something new in your reference and keep editing what you've worked on, and it'll get there eventually. So, another thing is I don't really use like a whole lot of tools when I make anything. I'm honestly one of those people that will like paint a painting with one brush. And with my charcoals, I'll normally use this big piece of charcoal. It is a soft hardness, I believe, pretty sure. And the other one I'll use is like a medium, but it's a small stick, like a rectangular stick. So I'll use that when I need to get into like really tight corners or do something very detailed because it's smaller. And obviously the big one is very hard to use, like when you're getting into like more detailed work. But a lot of the time I'll use it just kind of like block in a little shadowy area and then just smudge. That way it feels kind of like painting, finger painting, more or less. So yeah. What else to say about Vecna and charcoal? I don't know. I do so much with my fingers, honestly. Like, I have to wash my hands a few times while I'm working on a portrait because they just get so covered in soot. But yeah, that's like my main technique is to just use my fingers, and I feel like it makes a very like natural looking product in the end, and you get all the values that you need without having to do like a whole lot of work, honestly. And I will use a lot of erasers. I honestly just use the eraser from my mechanical pencils, nothing fancy, and then I have, what is it? Just like the malleable, like putty type erasers, and I'll just wind up a corner of that, like I'll twist it to be really tiny and get the details with that. But yeah, a lot of what I'm doing ends up being like a lot of erasing for highlights, erasing to like correct the shape. And I don't know what it was, but when I first saw like charcoal art, I didn't even think that they would do any erasing, you know what I mean? But huge part of the process for me, at least. So So yeah, all that aside, this is my first YouTube video. And yeah, I mean, I've been working a corporate job for 3.5 years. If you're listening to this on Patreon, you already know all of this, but yeah, I just left my job December 31st, refused to take it into the new year. I didn't hate it. It was a great job. I love my coworkers. It was nice and easy, but it did get a little too busy for me to be able to do art on the side. And I've just been working so hard since the summer to build like my audience on Instagram and TikTok, and it's just been getting better and better, and this is what I really love to do. My corporate job was just a dead-end job. Really, there was nowhere for me to go in that company. So yeah, I took the leap the first of this year, and I'm very, very happy. But I'm learning a lot of new things, like with technology, which I'm normally not too bad at, but like, I have zero storage space on like all of my, like my computer, my phone, my iPad, so I'm working on getting new equipment, so hopefully I can make better videos in the future. Like, for instance, my iPad that I've been drawing on for the past, oh my gosh, 11 years. Yeah, 11 years. Wow, I'm just realizing how long I've had this iPad. But anyway, a couple years ago it was charging, and my cat got herself like caught up in the cord a little bit. It's not a long cord, but she was just playing with it, and it got knocked over onto the floor, and so the whole corner is just completely smashed out. Like, my OtterBox that's on it right now is the only thing keeping it together. Yeah, like literally the whole thing is just completely shattered in the corner. It's very crunchy. I can't take the case off of it because it will fall apart. So yeah, I'm working on getting a new iPad. That way I can do videos like this, but doing my normal digital art. Because right now you can't even really see the screen. Like, the case is just a mess, and it's shattered. Like, the corner is crunchy. Sometimes, like, the color spot on Procreate will be in that corner, and I can't really, like, color drop from it because the screen, like, it'll work, but I have to really press, and it's just so crunchy. So I really shouldn't be doing that. But yeah, so I'm getting that. I'm gonna be getting, like, a desktop computer so I can edit videos a little better, because I am doing this from my phone. I recorded this with my phone, edited it in iMovie, and the whole time my phone was fighting with me about storage space. So we're gonna make some improvements, and hopefully the videos will be better. But I've been sharing YouTube Shorts for a while, and when you get to my page, there's like really nothing there. It's just a bunch of shorts. So I'm working on getting some long form videos done. On my Patreon, I already have some like screen recorded videos from Procreate. And those are just for anyone. I don't think you have to be a member to watch those, but I do want to offer like mini courses and some other cool things, video-wise. So yeah, we will be upgrading everything this year in 2026. And yeah, since this is going up on YouTube, if you're interested in joining my Patreon, I'll link it below. I have been working on a lot of new rewards for everyone. I just revamped my tiers. So the lowest tier is just $3 a month. And that will give you access to the Lurker Club if you would like to lurk. And you still get some pretty good benefits with that. I do journal entries where I will write about just like my thoughts about certain things within like the art world. I'll write about like my more popular pieces and like all my thoughts behind them and how I made them. And yeah, just a lot of journaling about my art journey, I guess, like becoming a full-time artist and basically anything. Like, I will write about anything. So I have that. I have a vault, which will have all the rewards from like past months. The mini print club, which is $10 a month, and my blood club, which is $20 a month. They both get exclusive prints. You can't get them anywhere else. I'll post them on Instagram, but the only way to get those prints is by being a patron of one of those tiers. So yeah, I'll also have access to like certain discussion boards where we can do like an art critique. Yeah, lots of different things. I'm still working on it. I will be posting like my color palettes for Patreon members, because people have been asking like, how do you make your color palettes? Like, I love your colors. Why do you use certain colors? Or how did you figure out what colors you wanted to use? And honestly, I don't have any training in color theory. I go by intuition alone, but I'm working on making color palettes for my Patreon members, so you can just download the color palettes and use them in Procreate. So, stuff like that. I'm drawing a blank on what else I'm offering, to be honest, on Patreon, but it's worth it. I try to make it as worth it as possible, and I do giveaways. You get discounts. Sometimes you'll get handwritten mail from me, just like a little love notes to thank you for supporting my work. And yeah, I try to give you guys as much of an inside scoop as possible. I do have a guide on how to go viral on Instagram, which stuff like that, printable like coloring pages you can download of like my art to color at home, stuff like that. You just get all for free instead of having to buy them individually. Oops. So my Go Viral guide is free when you join, although it's only $10 if you're not a Patreon member. And that I've had some really good feedback on, which has been great. Because like my whole goal is to obviously like do my art, but I also want to help other artists do what I'm doing, like leave their sucky, soul-sucking jobs and do what they love. I don't think it should be as hard as it can be to do that, because we don't really choose to be artists. I'm going to say that right now. I used to not believe that, but now I do believe that. Because working my 9 to 6 for 3.5 years, I kept trying to tell myself, like, I have to do this because, you know, the only other thing I would want to do is art, but, like, I would never make it as an artist, and then, boom, here I am. But I literally was in, like, such a depression, just ignoring that part of myself, and I think we really are made to be who we are for a reason. So if you're listening to this right now and you are stuck in a job that you hate and you have always dreamt of being an artist, let me tell you right now, it is very possible. I figured it out kind of by accident last summer. I made like a silly video about, you know, when you're drawing on Procreate and there's like a little crumb, you know, like just a part of a brush or something kind of like hidden in one of the layers, and you're trying to find it and you can't find it. And I just made like a silly video about that, and for the first time ever, people that don't follow me saw my video. And I can be very obsessive about things. Like, I want to know why things are happening. I can't just let things go. I need to figure out why they're happening, and I love just like data analysis in general. So I kind of cracked the code for Instagram, not yet TikTok, but I do have tips on TikTok. But with Instagram, I went super hard, and for months last summer, I worked very hard on Reels, and I figured them out, and I gained like a few thousand followers pretty quickly, and unfortunately my main job became busy again, and it kind of pulled me away from that, and that's why I ended up quitting. But I was able to figure it out, and it's honestly like the best way to market yourself as an artist nowadays. So yeah, once I figured that out, the rest is history. Like, if people like your art and you like making art and you figure out how to market yourself, you absolutely can do it for a career. And there is nothing that can change my mind on that. So my main goal, aside from making art and continuing to live off of my art and doing art, is to help other people do art. And yeah, I've always enjoyed teaching people, so my main thing will be courses, I think. Like how-to courses. And yeah, because I don't want to gatekeep. I think gatekeeping when it comes to art is stupid because everyone has their own style. Like, unless someone is straight up copying what you're doing, there's no point in gatekeeping because we all have something to offer, and everyone has something unique to offer. And yeah, I mean, people always ask me, like, with my normal portraits, like with my ladies that I draw, they always ask, "Oh, is that supposed to be you?" Or they tell me that I look like my art, and I'm just like, no. I mean, I used a reference of someone else most of the time, and it's not me, but it just goes to show that there's always like a little bit of you that ends up being in your work. So yeah, that's my spiel. And yeah, with Vecna's hair, it's mostly just eraser strokes, and that's what I love about charcoal, is it's so easy to create like texture like this with very minimal work. Like, all I did was block out where his hair was and then just create the movement by using the eraser to create all the highlights. And I didn't even finish it. Like, you can see in the back, all I do is just erase a block. That's it. That's his hair. So yeah. So that's about it. Please let me know what I can do better. I already know I need to get a mic, and I need to stop rambling, saying and I need to stop being so out of breath and hoarse, but at the end of the day, it is difficult for me to speak this much because I'm just not used to it. But I will do my best to improve. And yeah, feel free to comment below and let me know what you'd want to see from me, what I can do better as far as like the content creation goes. And yeah, I will link my Patreon and my website below, and like my social media if you have any interest in following me. You won't really see a whole lot of this charcoal work because my main thing is oil painting and digital art, but I do plan on doing more charcoal like fan art because it's just too much fun. It's just way too much fun. But yeah, I will say I've been seeing a lot of memes about 11 and her Botox and her filler, and I just want to say it is pretty funny. However, she is a beautiful woman, but yeah, I feel like you can't overdo the filler and Botox, like, when you're an actress like that, like, because she couldn't emote enough. And it stinks because I feel like it would have been so much better if you could see more expression in her face, but I understand why people are criticizing it. And yeah, especially with how she was styled, like, her hair was like really slicked back, which really, really accentuated it, I think. And yeah, there were just some scenes where I was just looking at it and I was just like, oh, like she just looks like too stoic, you know? But Millie Bobby Brown is such a beautiful woman, like, obviously when she's all done up and not like hair slicked back and like very, you know, on a mission to save the world, it looks great, in my own opinion. And yeah, the other, I don't know, I feel like this season got so much flack, and like the other criticism about like Will having that talk with all of them about being gay. I mean, it was the 80s. It was the 80s, though. It was like a big thing. Like, you couldn't really talk about being gay, and it was really difficult to come out. Not that it's not difficult now, but what I mean is, like, it's not like they just threw that in randomly. Like, it's been building up since the beginning. Like, we've all known he's been gay. I'm pretty sure all of them knew he was gay. But, you know, people are forgetting that is, like, all, you know, he even says it himself, like, this is all that Vecna has left of him. And, like, because that's such a huge source of fear for Will. So I feel like it's integral to like the story and the plot, and I really don't think that scene was all that long. I don't think it really went on for so long, and I think his acting was like incredible during that scene, very personal to him. So I don't know, I don't really see why people are so bent out of shape about that, especially when they've been working up to that for the whole show. And like, you know, that was just kind of an FU to Vecna. So yeah, I think it was important. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say. I've been yapping enough and I'm so out of breath. But I hope you guys enjoyed watching me do this portrait. Please let me know if you found it entertaining. And yeah, I think I'll just play some music for the rest of this. So yeah, hopefully we'll have some more videos for you guys soon, and see ya!